Oh, that's nice. Haven't heard that for a bit. That's Keen and Silenced by the Night. I'm still waiting for that tribute band for Keen. The ones that are called Not Keen. You get it? It's great. What great. That's my idea. So if anybody comes up with that and does it, I need a cut of that because it's a brilliant name for a band that isn't Keen. Right. Anyway. Now, as mentioned earlier, we've got our Wellness Wednesday today, and I have with me Robbie from pureorganiccbd.com. How you doing? Are you on that one? Hang on, keep talking, I can't hear you.
Can you hear me, Dougie?
Oh, yeah, I need to turn you up a bit.
There you go.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
Nice.
And we've got Dr. Margot here as well, are you?
Hi, Dougie. Lovely to be back with you.
It's been a while.
It's been a few weeks, yeah.
I mean, we've last time we spoke, we were just sort of decompressing, as it were, after the first time we spoke, which was, of course, all about the big lockdown and everything. How you been lately? How's things?
Yeah, great. Well, I'm just really keen for life to get back to well, I don't want to call it normal because I'm hoping that people have made a few shifts because of what happened with COVID-19, but I'm really hoping that we'll be able to not have to wear masks forever and that people can just socialise more.
Get one like mine. Look at that, that's pretty. That's pure silk. That is pure silk. It does absolutely no good whatsoever.
Yeah,
but it looks good.
People are making good money on selling masks. That's the only thing I can say.
Well, this is it. My sister makes them.
Oh, brilliant.
So I'm promoting them. They look good, don't they? That's for the camera. Look for the camera. Look at that. The quality of that. Feel the quality of that. Anyway, how are we doing? Anyway, Robbie, I understand we've got a new person in the camp for Pure CBD.
We get a lot of questions, medical types of questions. People have all sorts of things that they want to know about. And we just thought, as a company, we got to go beyond just trying to sell people CBD. We want to go ahead and show people why they should buy CBD. And so to kick that off, we decided to bring on a panel of experts in their respected field. And that's why Dr. Margot is here today with us. Dr. Margot and I, we met. She inquired with us. I guess she liked our messaging and what we stood for with the CBD side. And in her profession, she got a lot of questions of, hey, what's this CBD thing that we've been hearing about? So it was a natural partnership, and we've been working together on a few different things over the course of time. But, just her depth of knowledge and everything really impressed us, and we felt like it was such a great idea and a way to give value to our customers and people thinking about trying CBD, to bring her on board as our medical director and really kind of give people that deep, well-founded knowledge on CBD and how it might help them. So, that's how we know each other.
Okay. You've been very busy since I last spoke to you.
Yeah. Well,
you've been getting around all over the place.
It was just funny that I just saw an advert for the CBD, and I think sometimes people don't. Do people know what CBD actually means, Dougie?
Well, you tell me. I mean, do they? I think I get an idea, but
well, it's cannabidiol, and it's an active substance of the plants of the cannabis. Is a genus of flowering plants, to be precise, of the Cannabaceae family, which consists of 3 primary species. There's Cannabis sativa, Cannabis indica, and Cannabis ruderalis. And hemp is a strain of Cannabis sativa, which is the source of the CBD or cannabidiol, which the guys are using for their pure organic CBD. Because I think people, sometimes the letters get bandied about, but sometimes people don't really know what that actually means. And the other thing that people have said to me is it legal? Is it all right to take? And it's now totally legal. The dose that the products that Pure Organic CBD market and sell are totally legal in Europe and the UK. So there's psychoactive substances within the cannabis plant, like THC, which is cannabinol, and that is the one that makes people high and all of that. But that's a highly regulated substance. So some of the products that this company market have got the legal percentage of THC in them. So it's really great because people can choose to either have the CBD with or without the THC. And you're not going to suddenly go off the wall with the doses that we have here. But the great thing, the really great thing that really inspired me so much is when I read about the product, when I looked at the website, when I met the guys, I was so impressed that they've gone to such lengths to make a really pure product that's made in pure countryside in Switzerland. It's highly regulated, it's highly tested, and it's designed to help all sorts of ailments. So I've written an introductory report for people that might want to read about what this is and what it can help. And if people would like a copy of that, they can email me at info@totalhealthmakeover.net, and you can get a copy of that report, because I thought it'd be nice for people to see the whole picture.
Absolutely.
How it was designed.
What was the email address? It was very quick. I didn't even get it.
info@totalhealthmakeover.net.
Right.
All one word, Total Health Makeover.
And another thing too, just more about Margot. She does have this site. It's her site, totalhealthmakeover.net. And when we were learning about Margot, what we loved about her is her approach on health, and it's not just pills and diagnosis and treatment and more pills and diagnosis. And Margot, do you want to tell us a little bit about?
Well, thank you. That's kind of you. Well, basically, Dougie, I've been talking with you a couple of times now purely about COVID-19 and about masks and all of that. And I did mention that my business is Total Health Makeover, and I'm an immunologist, so I'm a doctor of immunology. I'm not a medical doctor. I don't want people to get confused, but I'm a doctor, a PhD of immunology, and I'm also an advanced nurse specialist. So that's called an ANP in the UK, and it's a really high level of nursing. It's the highest you can really go, and it's a bit like being a junior doctor. So I do assessment and diagnosis of patients. I do consultations just like a doctor's surgery, and if people want to get in touch, they can do the same. Get in touch with me via my email. But basically, I'm very interested in helping people to understand that they can heal themselves. And I know a lot of people are struggling right now because of COVID, and it's caused so much problems with the health in the whole world, and doctors are really hard to get hold of. Surgery appointments are hard to get hold of. People are frightened to go to hospital with things other than COVID because they feel frightened they might catch it, or that nobody wants to look at them. So there's been collateral deaths.
The anxiety has been through the roof, hasn't it?
I would be afraid to go to the hospital.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, and definitely. Collateral deaths because people with cancer or maybe a heart attack or hypertension, they're not getting seen, and it's very difficult for them to be seen. And I think that's a real tragedy of what's happened here. So I've written in my website, totalhealthmakeover.net, I'm talking about the 5 pillars of health, and I'm looking at helping people to see that, yes, I can help you in a Western perspective by looking at your medical history and, reconciling your drugs, if you like. I'm a licensed prescriber as well. And just to basically help people understand what's happening in traditional sense. But if people would like to understand how to optimize their health or remove long-standing things like arthritis or depression or any of those things, I work as a psychotherapist, and I do Qigong healing, which is basically a way of moving your body to open up your energy and try and help you to just clear blockages, because I don't think people understand that illness is basically the result of blocked energy channels in your body, and it takes many, many years for you to become actually ill and have symptoms, and during that time, if you just don't look after yourself the best possible way, if maybe I'm not going to blame anybody for anything, drinking too much, eating too much, but your body sometimes can't cope, and in the end you get something like diabetes or hypertension or worse, and my goal is to try and help people with all sorts of ailments to try and help balance their body and get well. So if you want to know more about my 5 pillars of health, you can check me out on that website, totalhealthmakeover.net.
And that's another everything that Dr. Margot here is talking about really drew a lot of interest, because where I grew up, there's so much emphasis on Western medicine, and we see adverts on TV about this new pill for sleep, this new pill for depression, and there seems to be a growing sense among the public at large that we want to start moving away from that because we're raised almost brainwashed to start believing everything that they say, and everything's designed, like the voice in the advert is designed to invoke an emotional reaction.
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
And it's all these marketing tactics that people are starting to learn how to see through, and then they start questioning the product itself. And Margot's approach is a 360 holistic approach. And when you fit CBD into that equation, it all really just kind of makes sense. It's about personal awareness, and it's about how you feel, focusing on how you feel, not what a pill or a drug should tell you how to feel.
Yeah. I mean, what I found fascinating when I was doing my research for this report that I wrote is that the actual receptors which the CBD attach to when you take it are ancient 600 million-year-old receptors which are present in every animal species, including humans, except insects. Insects are the only animal species that have been found not to have these receptors.
There goes the insect CBD we're going to make.
Yeah.
And I really don't like mosquitoes, so I don't mind saying that. But basically, I just think it's so brilliant because Queen Victoria's physician was actually quoted as saying that cannabis is the best medicine on earth. And because they realized, people for hundreds of thousands of years have realized, even before Christ, there was reports in the scriptures about cannabis oil helping people back to health. And the thing is, it can help keep you healthy, and it can help tackle disease. And the great thing is that it was kind of subdued and suppressed in the 20s and 30s in America and the UK, the use of cannabis, because obviously there was more regulations, and government officials were worried about people growing plants that could heal themselves. People could heal themselves by growing stuff in their own back garden.
Oh, there's a lot of money to be lost.
Absolutely.
Big Pharma wouldn't like that.
No, and it was really subdued and kept quiet, and lots of things were banned. People that talked about the benefits were kept quiet as well. But there's been so much pressure in the last sort of 10, 15 years from people all over the world. There's some notable cases, one of which you were talking about earlier, Robbie, where basically people are saying, you need to legalise this, you need to let us get it. And it can actually be prescribed by specific medical experts in specific circumstances now legally, and it can be bought legally, which is what we're doing with pure organic CBD.
Yeah, we were just talking about, there's very bright facts that present themselves when people go rogue from the medical, doctors, and they try things on their own. And that story out of the U.S., the Charlotte Fiji, where they didn't know what was wrong with her, how to stop these seizures.
How old was she, Robbie? Do you remember how old?
She was 3 when it started,
really
and she
small.
had about 300 seizures a month. The doctors didn't know what to prescribe. There was no help for her, and the family, out of desperation, turned to cannabis, mostly the CBD strain of cannabis. They administered the cannabis very carefully, and her seizures went from 300 a month to 10 a month. And so when medical professionals saw that data, it compelled them to start putting money into research and how do we control this monster that's going to loom on the public, and how do we become the ringmaster of this circus that's being created. And so there's a lot of control there. It's all good stuff to know. But yeah, which brings me to another point. Margot, you were so dedicated in your studies to Western medicine, Western style learning. And we talked a bunch about how they try to indoctrinate you on things, and not to go too far out that way, but then what brought you into the Eastern style therapies?
Yeah, well, I struggled, with depression, and I had problems with my eyesight, which seemed to be. I think people in general have a weak point in their health. There's something that always goes if they get stressed out, and my weak point was my vision, and I had a real problem. I nearly lost my eyesight. I nearly lost one of my eyes due to a botched up operation for a cataract several years ago, and I was really soul searching and wanting to feel happy as well. I wanted to feel happier, and I just found that I actually, just out of interest, went to a GP and got offered antidepressants. And the guy, straight away offered me antidepressants, and I'm like, well, you don't know anything much about me. You don't know, if I've tried, if this would work. You don't. And when I said, I don't think they're doing anything, he said, do you want a higher dose? And I thought, wow. So, it's over many, many years. So it's over the last 15 years I've really been looking at alternative healing, and I started looking into positive psychology, basically, and positive personal development. I believe that we've all got the potential to heal ourselves, and we've all got the potential to be happy. In fact, if you look at children, that's the way you're designed to be, as a child, totally happy, totally joyful, not a worry in the world. And sadly, we get it knocked out of us through school and peer pressure.
Okay, listen, I'm going to take a quick break, and we'll be back in a sec. How's that?
That sounds good.
It's Bay Radio 4 Wednesday afternoon here, talking with Robbie from pureorganiccbd.com and Dr. Margot here. Margot, what is going to be your role in within pureorganiccbd.com?
Well, basically, I'm going to be the medical director. I'm already on the website there with a bit of my background, but also, when we discussed this together, for me to be able to help people who are suffering from any type of ailment, it's really, really important for me to be able to help them. So I'm doing a lot of research in the background. I've just done my introductory article just to help people understand what it is and why would they even want to take it. But then I want to field questions, so I've got my own email address. Robbie?
We set that up, Dr. Margot at pureorganiccbd.com. It's an anonymous email. Some people don't like disclosing what they're going through over social media and everything. So we set up a private email directly with the doctor so that you have that level of protection and confidentiality. We thought that was so important for everybody.
Yeah, we're we're trying to help the clients to get the best results. So, I'm doing some research articles, and we're having a scientific blog. One of my colleagues is a pharmacologist back in the UK, and he's agreed to help us write some more articles as well. So we're going to have really interesting scientific. We're going to maybe target a specific disease or ailment for each blog and help educate people on how CBD can help. But obviously it fits in with what I'm doing anyway, which is trying to help people to heal themselves.
Yeah.
And I see this as a totally natural product that can help along the way to heal people.
So what sort of questions you've been getting from people?
So, we asked on Facebook, Instagram, and other channels, hey, ask a doctor, as part of this series here that Dougie hosts. And we did get some questions, and one of them, Shelly from Altea, she says, I have severe arthritis and keep hearing all of the CBD ads. How well does CBD work for managing pain?
Well, it's absolutely perfect, because I have done a blog on my website about pain and how pain can really, really affect people's lives. And so any kind of pain can be helped by CBD, and including pain from arthritis. And this is the great thing. Since 2018, there's been a lot more scientists getting really interested. There's a lot more real peer-reviewed science coming out. The World Health Organization published a review in 2018 as well. And if I just say what it would be, you would start on, quite a low dose, maybe a few drops a day of maybe our 10%, or and then you can up it as you see, and people will find their own balance as to where the pain is relieved. But if I just quickly list a few of the things that CBD has scientifically been proven to help. It was originally the actual endocannabinoid system in the body is designed as a stress or harm regulation network. And we have our own naturally occurring CBD in our own bodies that we produce. And some scientists have actually hypothesized that several ailments might be related to a deficiency in our own endocannabinoid system. So what's really great about that is that people can take natural CBD oil, and that might make up for some of the ailments that they're suffering. So it could be migraines, it could be sleep disorder, stress, it could be arthritis, as we've said. There's several studies on epilepsy. It's actually been discovered as minimizing traumatic brain injury when it's given very, very early on. Strokes, they have studied any form of neuronal disease, including strokes. It can work on your hormones, on natural hormone balance, mood and anxiety, energy balance and obesity, pain and inflammation, which is where this patient comes from. And it's actually even very important in the reproductive system. So for people who are trying to get pregnant, or people who have got gynecological problems, it helps there. It's been used to help treat cancer in terms of pain and symptoms. And actually, as an immunologist, what was really interesting to see that it actually works to minimize graft versus host disease. If you have a transplanted organ or transplanted blood cells in leukemia, it can help to alleviate the problems.
I didn't even know that one. That's so awesome.
That's amazing.
Actually, the sleep thing, the insomnia thing, that leads us to my next question is, David B. from Denia asks, I want to lower my dependence on pills for sleep. Could CBD help me with that?
Definitely. And there's several people taking CBD for lack of sleep, and they've had very good results. But I'm also working with some people who have suffered from Parkinson's disease, and one of the side effects of Parkinson's is lack of ability to sleep. And I think CBD, I've recommended CBD to these people as well. But also I'm working on other, Qigong to help people as well. So, CBD is just a tool amongst many tools, but it's a great tool that people can take themselves.
Brilliant.
And build it up.
Can we just quickly wrap up with contact details and websites and addresses?
Absolutely.
So my website is info@totalhealthmakeover.net, and that's my private email, and then I've got a new one, Dr. Margot at pureorganiccbd.com.
It's a mouthful. Yeah, Dr. Margot at pureorganiccbd.com is that confidential email channel questions directly to the doctor here.
For people that are wanting to take it and they have specific questions.
Dr. Margot's website, totalhealthmakeover.net, gives you a bunch of information on her approach to health, which is internal and external. And then our website, of course, is another source of medical news now with a good doctor on board. That's pureorganiccbd.com. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Google search us. We're all over the place. So.
Brilliant. Okay, lovely to talk to you. Lovely to catch up, and we'll speak again soon, shall we?
Thank you, Dougie. Thanks a million.
Thanks,
It's been
Dougie.
great.
Thank you so much.